Well, hi there. Hi there. Welcome to Breaking Links. Oh, wait. That isn't the name of my channel. Welcome to Breaking Necklaces. Oh, wait a minute. I'm so glad to see you all here. What's my channel name again? Welcome to Breaking. Oh, damn, it's right there on my screen. Breaking Chains. Breaking Chains. It's so good to see y'all here. Thank you very much for stopping by. I hope you're all ready. I hope you're all ready for another
really big show.
Really big show. It's very, very good to see you all here. But seriously, folks, this live stream is here to serve a dual purpose. Okay. So, in case you missed it, the other day, Granny was live and Granny's watching, was live and she read the full appellee brief that her lawyer wrote and I believe by now has submitted. And I thought that it was such a amazingly written brief, and it was really well read by Granny, I'll say as well, that I decided to just basically clip her reading the brief so that I could I want to show the work of these lawyers and what they have done for this RICO case, because I got to tell you, it takes a lot of fucking time, energy, stress, and work to defend this a case like this, a case that is meant to bring big headlines but is so incredibly frivolous. And so you have to laugh and cry and be angry at the same time. And I fully believe that Granny and Barbecue have been screwed the fuck over through this litigation. I fully, wholeheartedly encourage you, if you desire yourself, to go to their channels, and their links are going to be traveling throughout chat throughout this stream. Go to their channels and look at their content to see more information about the RICO case and how it's affected them and all of that, and then determine whether you want to help them pay for the right for their freedom of speech. And that's what is so outrageous in this case, okay? This case is so fucking outrageous. It is literally making these women pay lawyers for their freedom of speech. And on top of that, as you all know, it's being done on the back of a missing child's case. So I think that this particular legal brief and this brief that we're going to be going over today has nothing to do, or very little to do, with the hearing that is happening on Monday. That what we're dealing with is just the appeal brief that was submitted and that Granny read through, okay? Because the reason I've chosen this is because it's a very comprehensive document. It's very well written, and it details all the fucking shenanigans that the plaintiffs have done in the course of this case. It is really, really stunning. The absolute incompetence, the willing incompetence or the unwilling incompetence, both are scary, is stunning. I've never seen such seems like intentional incompetence in a case ever. So, but before I get to that, I also want to acknowledge that we have a member for 4 months, Sherry. Thank you, Mets, who also gifted us 10 breaking links, breaking Drogon's smoke memberships. Thank you very, very, very much. Welcome to those who are becoming members. I very much appreciate that. And Barbecue Lady, thank you for becoming a new member. I think you membered up before, but you are renewing, and I very much appreciate that. So, hello, everybody coming in. It's good to see you. I'm so sorry if I'm not able to get to all of your comments in the chat. I'm going to be doing a lot here. So one thing is I really want to highlight the amazing work that these lawyers have been doing and that this lawyer did in this Dreams Escape. Thank you for being a member for 9 months. I want to highlight the great work that these lawyers are doing. I want to highlight the amount of money that's having to be, I don't know. I have no clue except for what has been spoken of publicly of how much money they've had to put in. But I have a good idea based on my own experience and my longtime experience of being married to a lawyer and how much it costs. I've gone through many lawsuits myself for various reasons, and I know how much lawyers cost, and I know how incredibly stressful it is to have to pay a lawyer bill. And priceless. In the meantime, Craig just got a dually. And I've been meaning to tell y'all. I forgot to tell you in Stargazer. Thank you so much for being a member for 4 months. Thank you very, very much. Good to see you, Caroline D. I've been meaning to tell you that I really, 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 really need. I really, really, really need a dually truck. I really, really, really need a dually so that I can be redneck royalty. Oh, wait. No, that you guys, you didn't hear what you just heard. You did not hear that. It was me just chewing. That was me chewing. It was chewing on ice. That was not what you thought they heard. I'm not sure. I'm honestly not sure that all the plaintiffs have to be there. I think it's witnesses. I don't know. I've looked at the order, and it looks to me like the witnesses need to be there, not all the plaintiffs, and or they can zoom in. But I'm not sure. I don't want to speak for that. But again, this isn't about the Monday trip, but that's a funny comment. Anyway, I think I really, 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 really need a dually truck, you guys. So my pay links are going to be just circulating throughout the chat to make sure to remind you to contribute to that I need a dually truck fund. Okay. So that I can also be redneck royalty. So with all that said, what I'm going to be doing is playing the video of Granny reading the appellee brief and stopping intermittently to translate that into BJ-ESE. But before we do the BJ-ESE, before you know what I mean by, hey, Shift, good to see you. We're going to need a little bit of a reminder of what I mean by BJ-ESE, and I'm going to do it as much as I can in the style of Dylon Deisel. Kind of like
these nuts.
Or,
because my dick is 3 to 4 sizes of
no, Chris, stop.
So the thing is, we have to meet them where they are. And I think it is very much very important for people in BJ's circle to really understand the importance of this document, but they won't understand it unless we meet them where they are and try to speak in their language. So I know that it's very degrading and humiliating for a lawyer's work like this to be degraded like this. By putting it through the filter and the funnel of such stupid, idiotic, ignorant people. But unfortunately, sometimes we have to meet them where they are, right? You have a good weekend too, Shift. So, but before we get into showing, yep, that's right. That's exactly right, Christina Rain. So, before we get into that, I want to show I want to show the docket for this, for the lower court. This is for the lower court, not for the appellate court, okay? Because this gives you an idea of how many filings there have been in this case. There have been, just on this docket alone, 85 entries. You see down there on the, thank you, Gray Pearl. See that number down there on the bottom right? There are 85 documents, most of which were filed by Granny's or Barbecue's lawyers, okay? Most of those documents are at least 15 pages. Most of them are 30 to 40. There's a tremendous amount of work goes into that. Look, we're on the page that's 81 to 85 of 85. And each of these cost a tremendous amount of money to produce and file. It took the lawyer's time, and then it took all the stuff, and it took also the it takes also the background and education that they have to continue fighting this. So I wholeheartedly encourage you to consider donating to their legal funds, because this is fucking ridiculous that they have to do this to keep their First Amendment rights. It really, really is. So that's just one, page of the docket, the last page of the docket. And like I said, there's 85 entries, most of which Granny and Barbecue, and then any at night filings, none of them have to pay for. None of the plaintiffs have to pay for this. They're getting to ride this wave of attention, RICO attention, for free. But it's not good attention, is it? It was really an absolutely idiotic move to join in this RICO litigation and then not get out of it before it was too late. And now it's too late. It is quite difficult to dumb things down sometimes. So before we get into the actual reading of the document and and the necessary translation, I need to give you some language, tone, and expression and reasoning samples. Now, it is important what they say. Yep, that's probably right, Barbecue. They paid for 3 filings, might be a total of $500. We don't know, but still, it's a tiny fraction of what you guys have had to pay, and you didn't initiate this lawsuit. So, and also as a reminder, Granny is also going through 2 other lawsuits, one against Tony and another where Brittney has a default judgment against her. And so Granny's paying for that as well. And this is all because Brittney couldn't let go of her vendetta. Period. End of. So let's listen to this. So this is a short video, just to get into the groove of BJ-ESE. Here's the language and the expression and the tone that you can hear on any given night in BJ's chat or on BJ's channel, so that you understand what BJ-ESE is, okay? And these clips are from literally very recent from last night, but they also stretch back to early RICO litigation days when they were talking big and bold about it.
Fucking kidding me? Angela's like,
What's thinking about those pork chops you
oh, well, if you eat.
So it's just an important reminder that you have in BJ-ESE, you have to break into, ever so often, you really have to break into. I did not see that, Mary Merkel, but it does not. Does not surprise me. They're gonna keep doing that and pushing along and pushing along and pushing it along. But justice is coming. Justice is coming. I truly believe. So, what we're doing is just getting, I don't know for sure. I don't know what they've ordered to do or not do. She might be able to show up via Zoom, but I don't know. It really depends on what the judge has ordered them. And I know something. Wait, let me look at something real quick. Yeah, so I wanted to check on something real quick that I saw was posted. As far as barbecue says, if any plaintiffs choose not to come, they can't claim a safety issue. I don't know if that's true for sure, but yeah, of course he's going to keep doing that. Of course he's going to keep doing that. It didn't happen. I was watching the streams where they're accusing Granny and Barbecue of streaming directly to YouTube. They didn't. It's ridiculous. It was already adjudicated in the lower court. There's an entire ruling about this whole thing. So it's ridiculous. It's a red herring. They're just throwing shit out. They're playing more to the public audience than to the court, because the court, in my opinion, is going to throw throw this shit aside. It's ridiculous. They're just pushing justice along. And you know what that does? All it does is cost them more money in the long run. They think that they're doing this for free, but they're just pushing their own payday along further out. And the further out it goes, the higher the payday is going to be. Good for them. Good for them. So anyway, but I do want to focus on this appellee brief, and I want to hear you. I want you to just get your ears lubed for understanding the idea of BJ-ESE. Okay. I would love that too, TPE.
My pork chops, and I'm about to get some more for pork.
Now, it's very important to always talk about eating, and also to make, really loud chewing sounds like this. That's an important part of BJ-ESE. Okay. And then, of course, there's going to always be the intermittent that could come up at any time. And I just need to give myself a round of applause, because that's what we do now. Okay. So let's hear more of the of samplings of what BJ-ESE sounds like.
It's a sad world that so many have morals, integrity, says the things you talk about. My kids, bitch. If a channel,
very important, when push comes to shove and you're up against the wall and they're all coming at you, grab your child and put them in front of you. That's the move. Every time. Don't forget. Okay. Always with the kid.
Wants to join this group, they pay. In return, these channels dump hundreds of memberships on each channel. This is like a pyramid, only it's on YouTube. This is why they redirect. How is that not?
That's perfectly
right. I mean, that's.
Now that is a great example of the distorted reasoning that is used in the BJ-ESE language, because what they basically just did, you got your ear lube, Love Louis Designs. What they just did was took an entirely legal, non-problematic, totally innocent situation and made it into a crime. Hi, Lip Locked. Nice to see you. Hi, everybody coming to see. So they take something as innocent as redirecting using the tools of YouTube to redirect subs from one channel to another who are like-minded. That's now a crime, and you should go to jail for it. So that always needs to be incorporated into BJ-ESE, is taking a button and turning it into Mount Vesuvius. Okay, that's what has to be done.
A coordinated group of people coming together, pushing the same narrative, making money.
Isn't that what they call a RICO?
Yes, and they send.
There you go. So it's racketeering to use the tools of YouTube. Gotcha.
They send each other to each other's channel. Yes. I got some brownies in there I got to make.
You need to make.
I got to say there, Akira, as we move into yet more food talk, that is a very good point, Akira. If she doesn't attend, it proves further to the court she committed perjury. She claimed her and her family are all in fear, and Monday is literally a safety hearing. Yep. Very good point. Which part, Barbecue? Which point are you asking? Wait, what about? I'll go back in the video a few seconds.
They send each other to each other's channel. Yes. I got some brownies in there I got to make.
You need to make them.
I know. That work. Does that mean you won on the?
Yes, right. That's the other thing I forgot, is that you have to randomly break in and just go work, and do it, while chewing. So it sounds a little bit like this. Work.
These nuts.
Kind of like that. So that's, hopefully you're getting the feel of BJ-ESE. Yes, now we know that's not the definition of RICO, but they don't know that's the definition of RICO. And that's why I think it's really important to amplify this document, this great document that Granny's lawyer wrote.
Okay.
I think he was trying to say that Brittney's losing her scruples. And that
What is that?
Scruples? That means you're losing your mind. You're going crazy. You're not right in the mind.
Now, that is an absolute requirement, that you have no fucking idea what certain things mean, what words mean, what you're talking about. That you sit there on a channel and you go, blah, 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 and you have no fucking idea what you're talking about. Now, let me give you an example. Scruple does not mean you're crazy, okay? Scruple is a feeling of doubt or hesitation with regard to the morality or propriety of a course of action. So it doesn't mean you're going crazy, okay? I hope this helps you, gives you a little bit of an education. It means when someone's questioning their scruples, it means they're questioning your morality. Okay, so let's go back a little bit.
What is that?
Scruples? That means you're losing your mind.
So remember, it's good to not know what something very important means and then to misinterpret it in BJ-ESE.
And you're going crazy. You're not right in the mind.
I hope Lesniak gets an opportunity to tell the judge all the shit that Granny has done.
The other requirement, absolute requirement in BJ-ESE, is to have no understanding whatsoever of how the legal system works. So every time you talk about, court and what's going to happen next, and you have to break it down as if you're talking to a child who's about to fall asleep in front of you. So you have to put it in tiny little sound bites, like, no, you're wrong. No, it doesn't work like this. So, in order to interpret that or to get to correct that, if there is correction to be had.
Year. It just don't get much growth. I mean, come on, bro. Like, seriously. That's all right. I know what that
She's
order.
a liar. They know that there's nothing going to
You better pay attention to what that order was today. No, you can't talk about the slap anymore.
Now, this is crucial. Absolutely crucial, okay? That you completely misinterpret the meaning of a court order, that you misread it and misinterpret it in your favor. It always, don't forget, all the interpretations and everything you say about everything, it has to be in your favor at all times. So that is why here, Brittney is trying to say that let me go back and hear that again.
That order was today. Don't get much growth. I mean, come on.
know that there's nothing going to
You better pay attention to what that order was today. No, you can't talk about the slap anymore.
So according to Brittney, an order that actually says you cannot talk about the about the court proceedings. Actually, it doesn't even say that. You cannot post images or recordings from a specific day's legal proceedings. Okay. That's what you can't do. But in BJ-ESE, you have to way over interpret that into you can't talk about this anymore. I just reread the PC for my fender who went to the federal pen. He had 120 altered firearms, 700 K in cash, and involved multiple gang members who had unfortunate ending. Lesniak. Right. That's a RICO. So here's more rules of BJ-ESE, okay?
You won't be able to weaponize or use the RICO for your content anymore, right, G-dubs?
She's about to go down.
Nobody's.
Oh, right. And everything has to end with you're about to go down, she's about to go down, they're about to go down, they're all about to go down like dominoes in my big dick. You want to lick my pussy? So it goes something like that. I think you're getting the hint, the idea of it, but let's keep going.
Can talk about that anymore. Nobody can read over any court documents. Nobody can do any of that.
Just to clarify this, Brittney, Seth, this is filed under the penalty of perjury.
Yes.
As well.
Mm-hmm.
So let me tell you something.
One other thing you have to do in BJ-ESE is not have any idea what you're fucking talking about when somebody else is on your panel and they say, when they say, you know what, this is what it is, you just go, yep. That's absolutely crucial in BJ-ESE. And the fact of the fact that what Justin said is absolutely untrue makes no difference whatsoever. There's no correction whatsoever. You just plow right on with the information and say, yeah. That's exactly how it is. Listen again.
Seth, this is filed under the penalty of perjury.
Yes.
As well.
Mm-hmm.
So let me tell you something. Trust me, they better have proof of everything that is in there because it's filed to put something in there that's.
She even turns on the camera for emphasis, right? For emphasis. She turns on the camera to make sure you know that you know what? Perjury, bad. Perjury, bad. Thank you for the super chat, Barbecue Lady. I shared this clip on X saying it was misinformation. They said my posting of this was reason for safety concern. Transcripts will be given. Interesting. All right. Correction is definitely an issue. Where's your Juris Doctorate friend? Exactly. Okay, yes, emphasis. You have to say words wrong all the time. Okay, so let's keep going. Now remember, she is making sure you know that perjury is bad. Perjury is bad. So, which makes it super interesting knowing that she committed perjury on her own documents in her own state by saying that she knew people that she didn't know.
It's not true.
Yep. In due diligence, let me tell
And not only that, but not one iota of the evidence that she's about to say she has all physical proof of, none of that was shown. And that is why the RICO was anti-slapped down by the judge in such a, oh my God, the slap her round the world was that judge's slap down of you guys, right? Am I right?
You're getting spicy right now.
I'm getting spicy. I'm getting real spicy. Don't forget, I need a dually truck. I really need a dually truck.
you just from my part, I can tell you they did their due diligence, and we all did, for every single accusation.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm wrong. I don't need a dually truck. I got a dually truck, but I need you to pay my lawyer bills. Fair enough? I think that's fair. Don't you think that's fair? That I just went out and got a redneck royalty truck, but you should pay my lawyer bills for all the frivolous lawsuits I'm initiating, right? That's BJ-ESE. That's what BJ-ESE is. Okay.
That is made. There is physical, like I said, there's physical proof of the person saying it for the most part.
Out of all the people that we interact with that hate us or friends or anything, how many people have had this many calls to their house?
Now we're getting into those were the BJ voice and tone and language and expression and reasoning samples. Okay. Yes, we do need everybody. We do need everybody to hit that like. Gray Pearl, of course, it is an absolute obligation that you pay for my Christmas, and my legal bill, because it's your fault that I have to launch this legal fund. Okay. And it's your fault. So you have to contribute, but I went out and bought a dually truck in the meantime. Oh, and also a ring, a smart ring, a couple of high-end TVs, 2 phones, 4 C&Ds, and everything else that goes with it for Christmas. All right.
How many?
I don't know.
Out of all of this little, what do you call it?
So as you can see, Craig in his male way, in his very specific way, is also picking up the BJs where you whine. And a partridge in a pear tree, and where you whine about being persecuted, about how all these people are coming after you, about how there's nobody else on the internet who's going through anything close to this. So you got to get that persecution energy going into, and also it's very much required for you to always sound like you are soaking in vodka. Always.
Sector, out of this whole fucking sector, how many of
this full sector
them have had this many calls to their house?
I don't think anybody
In a
has.
matter of
Oh, yep, there's the chewing again, eating while talking. Yep.
a little over a year. And around of a year, we've had cops, we've been swatted, we've had welfare checks, we've had CPS. I mean, has anybody else been treated the way we have?
No.
Whether they are
No, I'm sure there's absolutely nobody. There's only like 4.5 billion people on YouTube. I'm sure none of them are going through this whatsoever. Not at all. They're the only ones, right? So that's how you have to see things in BJ-ESE and BJ world is that you are the center of the full universe, that everything begins and ends with you, and everything that everybody does has something to do with you and whether they like you or not. Okay, that's the way you have to see things.
Against us or for us? Has anybody else been treated the way we've been treated?
No.
I want y'all to think about that shit. And I rest
We
my
have. We have.
They do. Yeah. Reality
We
says we
have.
have. That's why they're here. Like they stand
Yeah,
with me.
Yeah, that's why we support you.
No, I
That's
mean,
why
I know some of y'all know that, but I want to like point it out, and then show.
Yeah.
You need to really count how many times we've had all these people come to our house.
Yeah.
Nobody.
So all your words have to roll into each other. So that's a big part of BJ-ESE, especially between Craig and you'll see reality coming up. You really, really have to sound like you've been soaking in vodka. I don't know, like marinating in it for about a week before you start talking about really serious things.
Nobody else. Nobody. Do you
And
know
they
any
don't
other
even
channel
know you personally.
famous that anybody who's
Right.
had that many in
They
a
don't
year,
know you
that
personally.
many calls to the house?
Nope.
Do you understand what we've gone through? What you put my children through?
Oh, there we go. So he really understands the whole idea of, hey, when I'm up against the wall and it's all coming at me, you put up those kids. You take that kid and you put them right in front of you. They take the arrows. They de-escalate. They de-escalate for you, right?
I just want you to just acknowledge that. Whether you like it or you don't, just acknowledge that. Nobody's been treated like the way we've been treated. It's been a bad year,
It has been a bad year, but we are going to be okay.
Name anybody famous or low scale fame that's been persecuted like we have. Anybody. How many times have you come to the house, Brittney? I've lost count. You're muted?
Been persecuted like we have. There's persecution is a really, really, really big thing. And you really got to get into that groove, because everything that happens to them, it's persecution. It absolutely has nothing to do with any choice that they made, with any of the words they've said or the things they've done. It has absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Not at all. Not at all. Oh, wait, was I talking? Oh, I'm sorry. See, you have to really understand. Okay. Let's keep going.
I no, I'm not muted. I don't know anymore.
I don't know. How many CP calls? How many fucking animal control calls? How many calls? How much, like, you put our children through this shit?
I don't know.
Our children are scared, like,
don't give them that.
Coming to take me away,
don't give them that. Don't give them that. Fuck that. Don't give them that. Because you got a fat bitch over there that's going to laugh and freaking love that. Don't even give them that.
I want everybody else who has a heart to realize, like, our children are afraid every time somebody knocks at the door. That's what you've done to us.
The thing is what you have to understand is that everything he's talking about is based on our false claims, that this is all happening as a result of YouTube, right? As a result of YouTube. So you have to just throw out all kinds of gross allegations against all these nameless faces on YouTube, but you name them because you say for sure that they're the ones that are causing all this, even though you can't prove it. But everything you say has to work in your favor, right? So it works in your favor to say that it's these people on YouTube that you're going after legally and raising an illegal fund for, that are causing all this, right? Not anything that you do.
That's through a lot of pain.
Flava is awesome, Nanny.
I don't know nobody else who's had this many calls to the house.
Glad y'all are here.
We're down for the war.
Oh, Lord.
You leave him the fuck alone. Leave him alone.
So that's the other thing you have to do in a lot of in BJ-ESE is escalate immediately to war. It's time for war. You better get prepared for war. Right. You know, make sure they know you're prepared. It's wartime.
Cyber attack. It's just not cyber harassment. That'll give you 10 years in prison. Do you know that? Cyber harassment gets you 10 years in prison.
There has to be a lot of fear mongering, telling the other people, you know, in one stream that I never said that they were not going to go to jail, or I never said that they were going to spend 20 years in jail. To, you know, you have to swing wildly from saying that one day to your boyfriend going online and saying this the next.
Leave them alone. It is cyber attack. It's just not cyber harassment. That'll give you 10 years in prison. Do you know that? Cyber harassment gets you 10 years in prison. Now you're coordinating with other people, and you're all going to get 10 years in prison. All you got to do is find a lawyer that's going to press you.
But we've seen where that went.
I just see the roof.
And then you just randomly throw in work. So I think you're getting the feel of it. We're going to fast forward to reality's tone and expression, okay? So that you're familiar with that as well, because she's been more and more. She's actually become somewhat of a momager, I've noticed, to Brittney lately, telling her when to stop, when to start, when to come up on panel. She's calling the channel we and stuff like that. So she's much more of a player in this scenario, and so the BJ-ESE is translated through her as well. So let's listen to her.
That stay here and come for Brittney as you are. Take a link and come up and say it to her face. Huh? Quit being a keyboard warrior. You're a nobody.
Now, once again, as you can hear, you have to, oh yeah, producer, that's a good, you know, assumption, unless people know she actually is a producer, and I didn't know this. But anyway, let's listen again. I want to remind myself of my point.
Huh? Quit being a keyboard warrior. You're a nobody. Leave her alone.
So in BJ-ESE world, you need to kind of sound like, once again, you're very inebriated. Something is altering you somehow, right? That there's something blocking your mouth or in your mouth, and that you can't finish your words or your sentences. And while saying that you're not angry, you're screaming like every cell in your body is angry. Okay, so let's listen to the BJ-ESE through the reality realm.
Nasty. So nasty.
Nasty. So nasty. Okay, we're getting the groove of it.
Crafty, what happened to you? You used to come over here and you used to support Britt. What the hell happened to you? People all need to wake up and have a reality check about life itself. Have a heart. Think before you speak.
So it's really important to just blurt things out. Have a heart. Think before you speak. You know, like that is part of the BJ-ESE in reality's world. Hi, body. It's nice to see you. So, you know, to actually, while you're saying things like think before you speak, actually not think before you speak. You sound like a fucking lunatic.
Yeah, I haven't seen nothing yet. I've been holding it in for a while.
Angela,
I've been holding it for a while. You ain't seen nothing yet. You ain't seen nothing yet. So you got to kind of clip your words, like clip them for, you know, in reality's vernacular of BJ-ESE.
One day you all are gonna shut down your damn internet when I can let you.
Oh, right. And they're again, you always have to end with kind of a threat, you know, like a stupid, you have to follow through with the threat that you can't possibly do. You could never possibly do. or one that sounds like you're about to say,
These days, Alice, one of these days.
Pow! Right in the kisser?
Come on, Alice! One of these days, Alice, one of these days.
Pow! Right in the kisser?
Come on, Alice!
to the moon, Alice. That's what it sounds like you're about to say right there.
Because they've listened to them so long.
I feel that all the time.
They're like
Yeah.
addicted. It's an addiction to them. They are addicted to them, to the drama. It's not healthy. I'm telling you, people over there, it's not healthy. It's going to consume you, and soon everything's going to spiral out of control.
It's gonna consume you, and pretty soon things are gonna get out of control. I mean, does she sound like the golden haired child, the golden standard for control? You know, you can't just listen to the words. You have to hear the tone, the expression, the reasoning that they're using to understand their language.
You can save yourselves and get out of it and make your own decisions for yourself as an adult. Nobody should have control over you like that. And quit saying that everybody's a simp. I'm not a simp for Britt. I support Britt. I do as I want. Let me get something clear to you, Queen Bee. I did not ask you to come over here because of what you seem to believe in your cockamamie brain over there.
Now, I must emphasize that right here, I'm not adding any sound effects on my side whatsoever. As reality rages on, Brittney is snoring, and Craig's TV is up in the background, and they're up, and they are drowning her out. That's what it's like to live in the BJ world.
Except fresh sausages are made in-house and gear up with effortless, ready-to-eat wings and fresh guacamole from the prepared food store.
Why do you hate Brittney so much?
So finally someone mutes, and she just comes back from that and says, "Why do you hate Brittney so much? Why?
Gee, you lying bitch. You're a lying bitch. She lied like a fly with a booger in its eye.
See, you have to once again go through these crazy language swings and extremes where you're like, be grown up. Why can't you be an adult too? You lie like a fly in your eye. That's what it's like to live in that BJ-ESE world.
Prepared food store.
Why do you hate Brittney so much? Gee, you lying bitch. You're a lying bitch. She lied like a fly with a booger in its eye.
You're a lying bitch. Grow up. See, you have to say something with your words, but then do the complete opposite in the world of BJ-ESE. Okay. For anybody who's coming in, I'm giving you the voice samples to understand when I next play the video of Granny reading the appellee brief that was so well done and so well written by her lawyer. I'm going to then translate it into BJ-ESE, but you need to understand what BJ-ESE is. You have to get a recent understanding of BJ-ESE. So I'm kind of walking you through that right now. Okay. So we're almost done with reality's voice sampling. So you have it in your voice sampling.
And as a matter of fact, I invite any of them over here so we can have that discussion. Why do you hate Brittney so much? What did she do to you guys personally to make you have such deep-seated hate for her?
See, here's the issue. And this is me just giving you a really straight answer, and you've gotten this answer very many times. And the issue is that you refuse to listen. You don't want to have a conversation. Reality. What you want is to try to convince people of your position in a conversation. You want to show people that you're right and they're wrong. Many people have told you there are many different reasons for their distaste of Brittney. Many people in my chat right now are saying, I don't hate Brittney. I don't want her destroyed. I don't hate her. It's that we don't like the things that she does in the name of true crime. Okay? And one of the major things she did in the name of true crime was to file a lawsuit using a missing child's name. That is at the top. That is top level exploitation, especially when the claims you're making are based on an old vendetta against another YouTuber, and none of them were found to be true. None of them. That's what's so galling about this all. Okay. So let's keep going.
Why do you want to destroy her?
I can only speak for myself, but I've also heard many others say, I don't want her destroyed. I just want her to keep her grubby paws off of true crime. That's it. Keep her grubby paws off of true crime so she doesn't scam and exploit true crime victims, because she does not give a fuck about true crime. And that angers me, but I don't hate her. I don't hate her. If there are people here who do hate her, they probably have good reasons to hate her, and they will give their own reasons. But I don't think anybody here would stand here and say, we want her destroyed. You won't listen to that. That's why I have to translate this thing that I'm about to play into BJ-ESE so that you will listen, so that you will be in a better position to hear it, because it's very important. This is a very, very important document. And so while we're talking about that, let's move over to it. Okay. I am now switching over to the video where I'm going to play Granny's watching, reading the document. Okay. And I've cut out, she made some comments here and there in the middle of it. But I kept her reading because I thought she did a really good job reading it. There was only a few words that were misspoken, but they're easy to correct. And it's an important document, but it needs to be translated into their language so they better understand it. So before, I'm going to check the chat real quickly. Whitebird says, I want her held accountable for her actions. I want her to get help. Yep. Hi, Music City Mom. Nice to see you. Proud Fur Mom says, I don't hate BJ, but I strongly dislike her for being a liar, scammer, piss poor mother, and especially for what she's doing to Granny. Yep. I don't wish anything bad for BJ. I also don't wish anything good for her. I wish her nothing. See, there you go. So what I personally wish is that she had not tried to even a score by joining this RICO case and turning it into the monster that it is now. I wish she wouldn't have done that. And I wish she would get her grubby paws, her grubby, uncaring, grifting paws off of true crime. That's what I wish. Okay.
Expression guaranteed by United States Constitution and the protections of the Pennsylvania Constitution are at issue here. Quote, an estimated 210 million people suffer from social media addiction, which can result in mood swings, disrupted sleep, neglected responsibilities, desire for validation, and a lack of hobbies, end quote.
Okay, Brittney. So you know what that means there is, how you get up in the morning and the first thing you do is check your texts and your and all the stuff from YouTube. And you know how then you go online and you watch all these videos that you don't like, and you know how then you go and you stream and you rant and you rave at those people, and and then you say over and over and over again that you're not going to do that, but then you do it again, kind of like an addict does with their drugs. You know how like an addict will say, I promise, Mom, I promise I'll never do it again, and then they do it the next day. It's because they're addicted. Well, that's what this means, Brittney. I think that's what this legal paper is telling you, is that you're addicted. You're very, very addicted, and you allowed it to skew your thinking in a way that is not healthy, because that's what social media can do. So that's that translation there.
Everything I read there reminds me of a certain somebody. 210 million are now addicted to social media. This case exemplifies the issue when people become consumed with social media, disagree with comments and opinions made by others, and then improperly use the court system. The internet, while a valuable tool, is also filled with grifting, LARPing, and unfortunately insults, along with other inappropriate behavior. In this case,
so that right there means, Brittney, that they know that that this lawyer actually knows and is taking notice of the fact that grifting and LARPing and all kinds of other nefarious behavior happens online, and they might be able to prove that you're doing some of that shit. That's what I'm starting to hear.
appellant at Night Media, Dwayne Dog Chapman, Seth Rogers, Tony Mathis, Andrea Griffin, Brittney Nicole Not Black Jackson, Christina O'Donnell, Julie Valente, Hong Si, Sai, whatever, and Nick the Hat Hasafrasu engaged in coordinated efforts to silence those they disagree. Appellee Jessica and Appellee Stephanie, these appellants engaged in a campaign of silence off the back of a missing teenager, Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers from Sumner County, Tennessee. It is disappointing that the father, Appellant Rogers, of the missing teenager would involve himself in this frivolous litigation. However, it is more shameful that appellant.
So frivolous, you may not know what frivolous means. Okay, let me tell you. Frivolous means false, means silly. It means silly. It means
These nuts.
it means
My dick is 3 to 4 sizes of
No, Chris, stop.
that's what it means. That's what frivolous means. It's silly. Okay? And it's worthless and meaningless, and the claims are baseless and meritless. That's what frivolous means. I just wanted to interpret that for you.
Rogers would allow his son's name to be tarnished hereto by the mendacious machinations of appellant at Night.
Oh, Brittney, since Granny didn't quite pronounce that correct, I'm going to tell you it's mendacious machinations. Mendacious machinations. Okay, you got that, Brittney? I just want to make sure you got that.
Mendacious, whatever. Basically by the bullshit of at Night.
Yes, you got that right. The bullshit. That's what it means. The mendacious machinations. It's bullshit. You know, and just remember, don't forget.
I will bring hell down on earth on you so fast that you will think that you're a basketball player. Because you're going to be having so many court dates throughout this year that it's not even going to be funny.
It's not even going to be funny. It's not even going to be funny. There's, all of the plaintiffs have their own very specific BJ-ESE connection of how they speak, and Hong is one of them. It's not even gonna be funny. Doesn't speak like a real person, speaks like a gangster. Okay, so let's keep going.
The complaint identifies At Night Media LLC in the caption and in the identification of the parties, but makes not one factual allegation by or on behalf of At Night, nor does it assert any count or claims against any defendant on this plaintiff's behalf. Therefore, there is no claim by plaintiff at Night Media LLC as a matter of law. The appellants asserted this matter was warranted because statements by named and unnamed individuals thwarted, hindered, or impeded the search for the missing teenager.
So that means that you guys brought this claim based on the idea that because these ladies were speaking on the internet and because that one girl called you fat, lazy piece of shit, that you couldn't search for Sebastian. That's what they're saying, is that you said that you couldn't search for Sebastian because I know you've gone. I don't know. I never saw you leave the house here, hon. But you couldn't go out and search for Sebastian because Granny called you a worthless, lazy piece of shit. So that's what they're saying you said.
This is nothing more than a fantasy. A search supposedly being conducted in part by appellant Chapman. The search for, let's go to footnote. Yet the appellant is named in the caption in the identification of the parties, but makes not one factual allegation or claims against any defendant on this plaintiff's behalf. Yeah. The search for a missing teenager was the red herring. Silence and free speech was the goal, and the legal system was the vehicle.
Red herring means nothing. It's just some kind of fish you threw out there for everybody to look at, but it doesn't mean anything to the story. It's a fluke. You're just trying to get people to pay attention to the least important thing in the situation. That's what a red herring is. Just wanted you to know, Brittney.
Appellants knew defending this type of litigation would be costly undertaking considering the anemic filing. The scheme was to propound incredulous claims against with the goal of capitulation.
So, Brittney, in case you don't know what that word is, it's capitulation. Okay, Brittney, capitulation. But Granny's going to explain what capitulation means.
Which means making us bow to them.
Right, that's what it means. Capitulation. Capitulate, girl. Capitulate, girl.
On or about October 18th, appellants filed a complaint petition for permanent injunction, final injunction, and other equitable relief against APPELLEE, myself, and Barbecue, and unknown individuals alleging defamation, harassment, intentional infliction of emotional distress, cyber stalking, cyber harassment, civil conspiracy, and coordinated defamation, interference with prospective business relations, as well as alleged violations of Pennsylvania Corrupt Organization Act and Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act, RICO, seeking injunctive relief. None of these claims were based in law, nor were supported by any facts on record.
So what that right there basically says, Brittney, is that you plaintiffs in this RICO suit, you made a bunch of baseless claims. None of these claims were based in law, nor were supported by any facts of record. Okay. So even though you said, I heard you say with Justin there, in the very beginning that you had physical evidence to back up everything you said. Well, the judge found that wasn't true. And that's what this document is reiterating. Do you understand now? Do you understand now?
And I'll be honest with you, I'm so tired of hearing about the court stuff, all of it.
Oh, but Justin's sick of hearing about it now. Okay.
On or about November 6th, the appellants filed a motion for leave to amend the complaint. On or about November 8th, the Delaware County Sheriff served Granny. The Sheriff's Service process receipt and affidavit of return served was docket on November 21st. Yet, Joseph P. Lesniak requested the undersigned execute a proof of service. Attorney Lesniak was advised counsel for a party is not required to execute a proof of service concerning service unless counsel for the party was accepted service, which did not occur in this case. That said, on or about November.
So what he's basically saying there is that the lawyer that's representing you, Brittney, this Mr. Lesniak, is fucking lame because he didn't understand the court rules and who delivers service and how to give proof that the service was delivered, and then asked, you'll see, the judge reprimanded them for not understanding what service is and who's responsible for showing who served who.
12th, Appellee Barbecue filed preliminary objections to Appellant's complaint. 2 days later, Appellee Barbecue filed a response to Appellant's motion for leave. On or about December 20th, Appellee Barbecue filed a motion to Appellant's complaint and injunction referencing anti-slap. On or about December 23rd, Appellee Sang filed a timely motion to dismiss under the anti.
Now, Brittney, when they say timely, that's legalese for on time. They met their deadline. They weren't late. They didn't snore in the papers. They didn't go to the judge and say, I've been having technical difficulties. I'm having technical difficulties, or oh, my chat button isn't working. No, you can't go to the judge and say that. You can't say the dog ate my homework. You can't say, oh, well, I was here 2 minutes before. I was at the door 2 minutes before. Nope. You have to file these things timely in order for them to get noticed. And if you don't file them timely, the judge will take notice. That's what that means, Brittney.
Slap law incorrectly identified on the docket as being filed by Barbecue. The anti-slap motions were timely filed, having been brought within 60 days of service of the pleading, asserting a cause of action based on protected public expression. On or about January 14th, the undersigned entered his appearance for Appellee Sang. The anti-slap motion filings contained motion cover sheets, which set forth motions were filed with respect, responses thereto.
Whoop, whoop. We got some gifted memberships.
Well, fuck you, silly.
Whoop, whoop. Thank you so very much. We're doing this all in BJ-ESE. I really appreciate the gifted memberships. Have I missed anybody else who gave memberships or anything? I'm sorry if you have. If I have, I promise I love you even if I missed you. Doing everything. Flying solo here, baby. Flying solo. Okay, let's keep going. Thank you, Shaggy.
On January 9th and January 12th, respectively. Instead of filing responses timely, the appellants, without just cause, filed untimely responses to appellee's motions, which were rejected by the Office of Judicial Support of Delaware County.
So right there, Brittney, what they're saying is, in the beginning, your lawyers not only didn't meet their deadline, but then when they did file the papers, they were rejected because they were filed wrong. That, man, damn. That's some snaky ass incompetent bullshit, if you ask me.
On February 14th, over 1 month after appellants' responses to the motion to dismiss under anti-slap were due, these appellants filed an answer days before this court has scheduled a hearing. You guys notice they do everything on holidays? Valentine's Day, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Halloween.
I noticed that too, Granny.
It's always a Friday or it's always a holiday. Anyway.
Okay, breaking into Lynn mode here. I'm gonna explain to you. It's kind of hard to transition from one mode to the next, but I'm going to explain to you why people do those things, why they file things on Fridays and they file things on holidays. That's because they're menacing the opposing party. They're trying to fuck up the weekend of the opposing party. Now, there was once a time back in the day when I was heavily practicing PR, when you would if you wanted news to be buried, you would announce it on the weekend or a holiday or whatever. Now it's completely backwards because of the invention of the internet and the way things work now. It's the opposite. You get more attention on the weekends and on holidays online, and that's where they are seeking their attention. They are seeking their attention online. They, from what I can tell, they do not take out the trash Fridays. That's right. They do not care a goddamn lick whether their filings are correct or not. They care about whether it plays to us, the audience. And I think one of the reasons that they are imploding right now and breaking apart and everybody's going up against each other right now and they're eating their young over on that side of the aisle is because they know they're fucked. They know how very fucked they are. And so they have to all now point the arrows at each other to put the blame out in the public, not necessarily in the court. It really doesn't matter in the court who fucked up. They're all going to be held accountable. But in the public eye, it matters to them who gets held to blame for all of this shit show that we've been watching. And that's why all the finger pointing is going. And thank you, Lip Locked. I really appreciate that you say, as a former newscaster, you can substantiate what I'm saying, that it went from you bury the news on the weekends to you highlight the news, to be menacing on the weekend, to intimidate people, to bugger them, and also for it to be seen. Okay. Any questions? Let's keep going.
They didn't respond in time. Instead, they waited days before the court. So at this point, the judge had already gave us a hearing date. Then they responded. This was strategic.
So what's happening here, Brittney, is that Granny is describing what happens that your lawyer keeps doing, and your legal team, including Nick, keeps doing, and that is that the judge will set a hearing, and then out of order, Nick and Lesniak over there will file a motion that is completely out of order to stall things, to continue things, to keep them going, to push things along. That's what's happening right there.
Done without just cause to preclude a reply and prejudice these appellees. That said, a reply memorandum of law to strike appellant's answer to the motions dismissed under anti-SLAPP law filed by appellee Sang, which was joined by appellee Trude via precipice. A hearing was held before the Honorable Kelly D. Eckel of the Court of Common Pleas, Delaware County, Pennsylvania, on February 18th. At the beginning of the lower court hearing, Attorney Lesniak attempted to continue the matter.
So what continue means in court, that means stall. That means reschedule. That means even though these plaintiffs and this plaintiff's lawyer pushed things along and stalled and tried to get the hearing rescheduled, they're now going in front of the judge and once again saying, I want to reschedule this, judge. Never prepared. Now, the cumulative effect of all these fuck ups, of all these things that the Green Team RICO plaintiffs are doing will not bode well in the appeal or in the lower court. It just looks more like menacing. And I think, I don't know for sure because I'm not a lawyer, that could go up against punitive damages for how long they've been pushing this ball along. Okay?
Lesniak claimed appellee Sang was never served as one basis for his continuous request. Additionally, Attorney Lesniak.
Now, I happen to know that Lesniak was standing in front of the judge saying that Jessica was never served while it said on the docket that she was served. And that shows you the absolute incompetence or the willing fuckery that this legal team is putting these girls through. And every single time they do it, there's more cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching on the legal bills. And the further, once again, I will say, the further the plaintiffs push it along, the higher their bill is going to be at the end.
Asserted he could not proceed because he needed to take discovery. This was a delay tactic. Limited discovery may be allowable under certain circumstances. The lower court rightfully denied the request as no good cause was shown. Rules of court, the procedures of a court.
So no good cause means they didn't give good reason. And so they've never seemed to be able to give a good reason. So the judge said, no, you can't continue it.
Follows. And the law are no concern to appellants as they push and manufacture false narratives driven by appellant Nick Hazafrasu. Appellant Hazafrasu is the poster boy for abusing a legal process. The copy of appellant's brief provided to this counsel still references footnotes with no citation and fails to pinpoint pages of reference made to their claimed reproduced record. All right, so appellant Hazafrasu is the poster boy for abusing the legal process. The abuse of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania's court driven by appellant Hazafrasu must end. Former District Attorney of Delaware County, Katon Coplin, stated about appellant Hazafrasu, quote, evidence shows that Nicholas Hazafrasu will use any means to create his false narrative, end quote. This was stated during a press conference held by District Attorney Copeland announcing the arrest of appellant Hazafrasu, involving him impersonating professional journalists and sending racist emails in order to create a fake news narrative.
Did you hear that, Nick? I mean, did you hear that, Brittney? Did you hear that, Brittney? Nick was actually arrested for creating a false narrative, and this entire DA went on the record in a news report that we're about to hear, talking about how Nick falsified documents to try to push a damaging racist narrative against people, and he impersonated reporters. So, Brittney, did you know that he went to jail for that before signing a piece of paper that said that all your legal decisions are going to be made by him in this RICO? You let this guy snow you over this bad? Holy shit. Holy shit.
I'm getting spicy right now.
And I'll be honest with you, I'm so tired of hearing about the court stuff, all of it.
Well, I want to hear more of this brief, well-written brief.
The complainant in Junction unlawfully set out a whole list of personal grievances that miserably failed to form causes of action. Appellants created a sideshow, and their lawyers obliged. And
that I'm pretty sure that word means oblige, but let's keep going. Oblige.
Imagine never attaching the exhibits that allegedly support the allegations in the complaint and injunction, despite having months to effectuate an attachment. He attaches Nick's crime.
Effectuate attachment means attaching. Just remember, I'm trying to make sure that the BJ and her supporters understand this, so I'm putting this all in BJ-ESE as best I can. I'm sort of new to learning BJ-ESE myself.
HMAC defamation suit. Oh wow, it's clickable. Check this out. Defended an HMAC defamation suit arrested in alleged fake news scheme. Evidence shows that Nicholas Hazafrasu will use any means to create his false narrative. He will go to any length to do so, trading on the well-earned reputations of a national television producer and a print correspondent, forging government documents, paying to obtain statements from celebrities to create a story for his website, and concocting a racially charged email. See? Paying to obtain statements from celebrities. I told you guys he used that program. Locally, Hazafrasu is a principal defendant in a defamation suit filed in December by John Trainer, the former co-owner of Harrisburg Midtown Arts Center. The story filed allegations by a woman who claimed that HMAC staff failed to recognize her as a victim of date rape drugs and asked her to exit the bar, leaving her vulnerable to the subsequent essay. Since then, a Dauphin County judge has issued a default judgment, I didn't know that, against YC News and Hazafrasu, who did not respond to the lawsuit. Posing as a Good Morning America producer, New York Times reporter using false emails to obtain documents relating to an unidentified decade-long scheme involving several Delaware County agencies. Forging government documents to obtain a PennDOT specialty plate identifying him.
Oh, Terry Lynn, we got to back this up a little because I just heard a word I need to reinterpret for Brittney. I heard a word. It's default ruling. Here, let's listen to that again.
Against YC News and Hazafrasu, who did not respond to the law her as a victim of date rape drugs and asked her to exit the bar, leaving her vulnerable to the subsequent essay. Since then, a Dauphin County judge has issued a default judgment. I didn't know.
Yes, that's correct. So, Brittney, what a default judgment means is that the judge made a judgment because you didn't show up for court. You were called to court and you didn't show up for it. Or you can get a default judgment even if you file a lawsuit and then you don't show up to prosecute it. Then you can also get a default judgment against you. So that's what a default judgment is. And Nick, I don't know if you knew this, but Nick has a default judgment against him to the tune of over $5 million for his part in a defamation case.
That against YC News and Hasfresu, who did not respond to the lawsuit. Posing as a Good Morning America producer, New York Times reporter using false emails to obtain documents relating to an unidentified decade-long scheme.
I don't know, Brittney. I think if this guy is willing, if this guy was willing to falsify an email from his own probation officer and say that he's a national news reporter, he's probably willing to do more small-time document falsities, don't you think? I mean, that's pretty bold right there. That kind of shows you that he just does that. That's like his career is just making shit up.
Involving several Delaware County agencies. Forging government documents to obtain a PennDOT specialty plate identifying him as being employed full-time by a news agency. Falsifying a government document to create a racist email claiming to be from a supervisor in the Delaware County Adult Probation and Parole Office, leading several politicians to condemn the office based on the YC News report. Tampering with a video.
So basically, YC News, which Nick owned, put out a false report about his probation officer, and it caused his probation officer and other people in the community, other people that he had caused this to in the community, a bad reputations, and they got a judgment against him. So I don't know, was it such a good idea to say that you would allow this guy to make all your legal decisions in this RICO? I don't know. In hindsight, I don't know if you should do this again, Brittney.
Purchase online that made it seem that YC News had interviewed actors Ice-T and Snoop Dogg, and that they endorsed YC News efforts regarding a case from the Delaware County DA's office. According to Copeland, Hasfresu created the racist email by allegedly doctoring a legitimate email he had received from the probation office because he was on probation for past violations, including several counts of false reports to law enforcement and harassment. Creating an article full of lies, Nick the Hat attempted to destroy the reputation of hardworking people who come to this courthouse every day to serve their community. Copeland said Hasfresu chose to falsely attribute horrific racial slurs to good, hardworking probation officers, exploiting the real pain that minorities face every day, all in an effort to create a racial discord. Wow. I mean, he went really far to try to destroy people's lives. Then,
Brittney, did you hear that? He really did go far to try to destroy people's lives. And then he went to jail for, I don't know, something like 4 years, and he's still on parole. But it just kind of feels like he's doing the same thing now. I mean, he just turned against you. How could he turn against you? You're perfect.
Appearing at lower court, not ready to proceed 4 months after your filing. Instead of properly filing exhibits, they were placed appellant at Night's website and or a website operated under the name One World, a possible successor to appellant at Night, or at least controlled or owned by at least one appellant for their view in public. This was a carefully curated publicity stunt to have other social media content creators review these exhibits and then create a pressure campaign on APPELLEE sang by warning of the severity of the filing.
So pressure campaign, Brittney, that means that what they're saying that At Night did was, even though they had not filed the actual exhibits in the court saying what they said proves all of their claims, they put them on their website, and they hoped that it would get so loud on here the reaction to all the allegations that were made on there baselessly would get so loud that that people would be pressured to speak, that people would be pressured to say things that they might not normally say.
Amazingly, some creators broadcasted that APPELLEE sang face jail time.
That's right. That is true, and it's in this legal paper.
A review of these filings on the surface by a skilled legal professional, an unskilled legal professional, and even the everyday individual reveals frivolity, but also causes one to pause.
I'm sorry, but I think that word is frivolity. Just letting you know that I think that word is frivolity.
Circumspection that a lawyer could draft this morosity prolixity.
I don't think it's morosity, prolixity. I think it's mendacious. Sorry, it's right here. Meretricious prolixity. But it's okay. It's okay.
Unbelievably, the complaint contains first-person allegations made by the scrivener, which we cannot fathom was drafted by Attorney Lasniak, whose signature is on the documents, while also including multiple instances of random assertions by persons not involved in the litigation. Basically, there's no way.
Gee, barbecue lady, that's actually a very good question. Nick, just a couple weeks ago, he wanted to settle with Granny with a debate with B10, but now claims safety issues? He wanted everybody to come to town 2 weeks ago, but now there's a safety issue? Okay.
Oh, I love the way he just professionally clowns them. Make no mistake, these causes of action that could never survive the lower notice pleading federal standard, since they reference federal statutes, let alone the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania's higher fact pleading standard. Notwithstanding, there is an issue concerning the inclusion of Bruce L. Castor as being an attorney representing the appellants. Attorney Castor's involvement was confirmed in the appellant's press release concerning this bogus lawsuit, with a scheduled media event to supposedly take place on the steps of the Delaware County, Pennsylvania Media Courthouse. On a YouTube stream called, upon all information and belief, Mr. E's Crimecast, and reviewing the complaint and injunction, along with the non-attached exhibits, the panelists readily, while spewing talking points they were provided by certain appellants, made specific reference to Attorney Castor's involvement. In fact, Attorney Castor appeared on the media outlet news and crime talking about the underlying case with appellant Chapman. There, they referenced bringing litigation against social media content creators as if free expression was hindering law enforcement or appellant Chapman from searching for the missing teenager. That said, Attorney Castor noted he was not involved in representing the appellants to Appellee's counsel.
Now, see that, Brittany? I'm confused because you told me that this big dick attorney, this big dick former DA was going to be representing your cases. This guy who I was able to watch on YouTube in the impeachment of Donald J. Trump. You told me he was, and these papers right here, they're saying he's not involved in the case. Now, what's the truth? What is the truth? Well, actually, when we asked Mr. Castor, he's not clear about that either. He says he's not involved in this case, but he allowed them to use his name. How does that actually work? Well, let's continue to read for how Granny's lawyer sums it up. But welcome to everybody coming in. Lovely to see you all here. Let's keep going.
Certain appellants denied Attorney Castor's non-involvement, as certain emails wherein it was advised he was not representing these appellants were fake. The use of Attorney Castor's name was no scrivener's error. It was purposeful. At the hearing before the lower court, Attorney Lasniak verified Attorney Castor allowed his name to be used in the caption.
Now, why did Mr. Castor allow his name to be used in that caption, knowing that he wasn't involved in the case? I don't quite understand. That's one of the mysteries of the world that we may never, ever find out.
Without a doubt, Attorney Castor, former Attorney General, name was used to intimidate the appellees, have them cower, and then genuflect to the appellant.
That's what we believe. That's what they believe in this document here, is that his name was used as an intimidation tactic. And honestly, I agree with them. I gotta say, I gotta agree. Oh, Craig, now they're gonna say that you're not standing behind me, you're not supporting me.
Preposterous demands. It is understood only one attorney needs to sign a pleading when multiple lawyers are involved in a case. This type of conduct is the crux of this case. The more outrageous the claims, the more facetious the filing, the more legal incompetence.
I think that's facetious, but let's keep going.
The harder it is to defend while destroying the lives of those they target. In any event, after the hearing before the lower court, Judge Eckel gave the parties time to file any supplemental memorandums in support of their positions. Both appellees filed memorandums of law in support of dismissal under anti-SLAPP. The appellees chose to remain silent. In doing so, they failed to preserve many of the claims.
Yes, Agent 99, it's totally okay for attorneys to go in and out of a case unless they've been disqualified by the court for one reason or another, like conflict of interest or something like that. But yes.
They assert on appeal, which are deemed waived. Appellees chose to remain silent because no further briefing could save their legally deficient filing.
Okay, legally deficient, Brittney, that means it sucked. That just basically means their filing, it sucked. I'm sorry to say, that's just what it means. It means it sucked and you're fucked, okay? Just like it sucked and you're fucked and
These nuts.
yeah, baby. Yeah. You understanding me now?
Appellants complain alleged causes of action based on federal statutes in state court. Posit claims of endangering the welfare of a child, the missing teenager, by a party, hung, that had no duty of care thereto, and used supposed claims by Appellant Jackson and or Appellant Valente to get jurisdiction in a county where Attorney Laziak mainly practices by suing Appellee Sang.
Did you know, Brittney, that Hong tried to claim that he was being harassed on behalf of a missing child? That he tried to claim some sort of guardianship over that missing child in order to say that he was being harassed on his behalf. We're talking about this guy. This is the guy right here who said he was almost like Sebastian's guardian, and it was like his missing child that was missing.
I will bring hell down on earth on you so fast that you will think that you're a basketball player. Give me a...
You're going to, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. That's right. You're going to think you're a barbecue player.
Appellant Jackson's claims, even if they were based on defamation, were brought outside the statute of limitations and could not set forth a predicate act for RICO. Appellant Valente saw civil relief under a criminal cause of...
So, Brittney, I looked up the whole predicate act thing. I'm really trying to understand. Like, they keep saying that you lost and you keep saying that you won. They keep saying you owe money. You keep saying they don't. You keep saying that they committed RICO crimes. They say they have freedom of speech. I'm really trying to understand this. So, that's what's being addressed right here. Let's keep listening.
Action. Suing Appellee Sang. Appellant Jackson's claims, even if they were based on defamation, were brought outside the statute of limitations and could not set forth a predicate act for...
So in my course of research, I've looked up predicate acts. And the thing is, Brittney, that you need to have at least a pattern of several predicate acts of RICO. And what you're saying is not a predicate act. And also, RICO is in the criminal statute. That's weird. You guys can't see Barbecue Lady. Here's her. I'm highlighting her comment here. It's Barbecue Lady from TikTok is the handle that she's using. maybe you're just not recognizing your name. Anyway, let's keep going.
For RICO. Appellant Valente saw civil relief under a criminal cause of action and had no standing to bring.
Oh yeah, top messages alert, PSA, top messages. If you're there, go to all messages in case you forgot. Oh, she's already in all messages. Never mind, false alarm.
Claims on behalf of her mother. Appellant Valente saw civil relief under criminal cause.
So that means that your co-plaintiffs, and I think you, Brittney, you're seeking you're making a criminal complaint, but you're seeking a civil remedy, and that just doesn't work, Brittney. You can't make criminal claims in a civil case, and that's, I think, one of the reasons you actually lost. And I don't believe you anymore. I actually think you lost.
And had no standing to bring claims on behalf of her mother. Instead of preserving issues on appeal, these appellants filed a mercy motion with the lower court on or about March 21st. On March 26th, appellants filed an amended mercy motion for protective order and to enjoin unauthorized recording, broadcasting, and doxing. On or about April 2nd, Appellee Sang filed a memorandum of law in opposition to the amended mercy petition for injunctive and other equitable relief. And Pennsylvania Rule of Judicial Administration, dated March 26, seeking immediate judicial intervention to prohibit appellees from engaging in unauthorized recording, broadcast, and dissemination of courtroom proceedings. Appellants filed this fictitious mercy petition with.
Actually, I think that's vexatious, which is what Brittney and all the RICO plaintiffs are, is vexatious. So what this litigation is vexatious.
Thousands of nations judicial intervention to prohibit appellees from engaging in unauthorized recording, broadcast, and dissemination of courtroom proceedings. Appellants filed this fictitious mercy petition with thousands of pages of unrelated drivel to swap the lower court as
drivel, Brittney. That means none of it made sense. It's like it's as good as drool coming out of the side of your mouth when you fall asleep on your computer. Drivel, just like that.
Means to prop up the lack of legal validity to their complaint and injunction, and as an end around to their failure to respond timely to the motions to dismiss. On April 3rd, Appellee Barbecue joined in Appellee Sang's memorandum of law mercy petition with a supplemental edition. On or about April 4th, Appellee Sang filed a supplemental reply to Appellate's mercy petition. On or about April 17th, the lower court, by order, granted the appellee's motions for dismiss under anti-SLAPP statute, requiring the appellants to pay the appellee's attorney fees and costs jointly and severally. In addition, on that same date, the lower court.
Brittney, wake up, Brittney. I'm awake. Stop it.
Denied the mercy petition of appellants as mute, and in the alternative, denied it on the merits, as not one page, paragraph, or exhibit allows the court to conclude that any named appellee engaged in an unauthorized recording or broadcasting of the February 18th court hearing before the lower court.
Did you hear that, Brittney? What this guy's saying here in this legal brief is that the court already decided that the defendants didn't do anything wrong in that one hearing where y'all are saying that there's a safety concern and they did something wrong. And he's saying that she already said they did nothing wrong. So why is this going back to the lower court for a hearing again? This was already decided. This is just going to cost more money. You know, every single time they go back to court, every single time they do another filing, it's just going to cost us more money in the end. Oh, man.
On May 12th, the appellants filed a notice of appeal of both lower court's April 17th orders. The lower court did not request the appellants to file a statement of matters complained of on appeal. The appellants filed a statement of matters complained of on appeal on June 3rd. Were the issues with the anti-SLAPP law as to statutory construction and rule applicable properly preserved? No. Did the court abuse its discretion denying the request for limited discovery? No. Same basically complaint other. All right. This is where we get fun, guys. The court system is the playground for these appellants. To be clear, appellants failed to set forth a viable RICO action. failed at timely responding to the anti-SLAPP motions, failed at filing a supplemental memorandum with the lower court, failed to follow local court rules, and failed at preserving issues for appeal.
Oh my God. Did you hear all those failures? That's a lot of failures on behalf of the RICO plaintiffs. Let's hear all those failures again. Why are there so many failures in this litigation?
Clear. Appellants failed at setting forth a viable RICO action, failed at timely responding to the anti-SLAPP motions, failed at filing a supplemental memorandum with the lower court, failed to follow local court rules, and failed at preserving issues for appeal. The arguments being made on appeal by appellants concern.
Now, the question you got to ask yourself, now this is deep thoughts from Dylon Deisel, okay? This is deep thoughts from Dylon Deisel. What you got to ask yourself is why? Why make all those mistakes? And, it started right out with naming Castor on the header. And, breaking links, breaking necklaces, whatever my channel is called right now. I made a video saying that's not just an oopsie doopsie. When you put another lawyer's name on a caption, it's not just a oops, oh, sorry, Scrivener's error. And that's what this lawyer is saying here. Dylon the shithead. I don't think so, Angie. I don't think so.
In the anti-SLAPP motions are procedural in nature. However, the appellants never preserved the right to argue these issues at the lower court, only stating the Supreme Court has not promulgated rules in this area without any reference to the statute not being law or waging any actual objection to whatever word it is. Laws are presumed to be constitutional unless a clear violation of a specific provision of the Constitution can be proven. Failing to preserve an issue at the lower court results in waiver.
So that right there, Brittney, means the Constitution supersedes all law. So the Constitution is the backstop and supersedes and infiltrates all our laws of the land.
The lack of Pennsylvania Supreme Court notice or Pennsylvania Bulletin notice on the issues of procedure do not make a law inoperative. Appellants do not point to any law that states.
There's my girl, Sharon. Hey, Sharon, I'm speaking in BJ-ESE, so I know I sound a little bit weird, but I just want to say hi. And we're speaking in BJ-ESE in the style of BJ, in the style of Dylon Deisel, and we're doing the things that are recognized on her channel. So thank you for being here. Thank you.
Otherwise. Detrimentally, appellants never made these arguments with the lower court to preserve such an issue. Furthermore, the appellants need to notice.
Detrimentally, that means bad. That is not good. That's that's harmful. That's like causing harm. Detrimental.
The Attorney General of such an assertion while making appeal on these grounds. Also, any party that calls in question the constitutionality of any rule need to notify court administration. The denial of the limited right to discovery fails to pass muster. First, the appellants failed to timely respond to the anti-SLAPP motions. The appellants failed to attach pages upon pages of so-called exhibits to their complaint and injunction.
Lavender, are you coming in here accusing me of being a reality? Are you accusing me? Get out of my chat. Stop it! I don't want you guys to be in here saying that I do a good reality. Do I need to dumb myself down even further? Do I need to whine more? I know I'm leaving a lot of the this live will stay up. It's me, Barb. I think I'm not getting enough of the whining into the BJ-ESE, so they might not understand this so much. I'm trying my hardest. It's almost like learning a really hard language like Chinese or something.
Admittedly, appellants were in possession of hundreds of hours of social media live streams, yet they did not provide transcripts of those recordings to the lower court. Amazingly, appellants tried to have the sheriff's office file the exhibits.
You know what? You can cook rock. You can cook rock.
We want Sebastian home. Poor Seth.
You know, that's what's so important about that sound clip is that she remembered Seth, that she finally remembered that it wasn't about her, it was about the missing child. And she's like, we want him home. For Seth.
We want Sebastian home. Poor Seth.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. I shouldn't be crying this hard. I need to be crying this hard for Seth.
Amazingly, appellants try to have the sheriff's office file the exhibits.
Oh my gosh, Brittney. Now, I'm a very sheltered young man in North Carolina with it, you know, admittedly.
Because my dick is 3 to 4 sizes of.
No, Chris, stop.
Yeah, admittedly, you know, I got that really big octocock, but still, even I understand that you can't do this.
Amazingly, appellants try to have the sheriff's office file the
even I know that the sheriff's office doesn't file your exhibits in the court. Jesus. No wonder y'all lost so bad.
exhibits. Oh, shit. All right. Then appellant's counsel admitted he could have made transcripts, while certain the podcasts are not the true evidence. Appellants failed to pinpoint how they could turn their utterly baseless action into one of merit, especially when they were not the true evidence. And what was in their possession had, quote, more to do than just what's said. What does that even mean? Oh, reading this shit reminds me how crazy it is.
I don't know, Granny, but I'm sorry. I mean, I don't know, Brittney, but your lawyer doesn't sound like he's super smart in court. It's more to do than what they do. What?
Quote, more to do than just what's said.
It's more to do than what's just said. I mean, he's not a very good arguer in court, Brittney.
What does that even mean? Oh, reading this shit reminds me how crazy it is. The appellants failed to make a case for the need for discovery or to pass discovery as asserted to assist appellee saying. As such, the lower court did not abuse its discretion in denying appellant's request. Next, the appellants improperly asserted Borough of Nancy, Glow, First American Security Company of New York, precluded the lower court determination. The issue was not preserved at the lower or developed to allow for appellate review and is deemed waived. In this case, appellee Sang did not rely on oral testimony, testimonial affidavits, or deposition testimony, and is certain that there was no genuine issue of fact warranting summary judgment. Appellant's complaint and injunction lacked merit under any review. As a result, appellant's claims fall on their own. No amount.
Electrodescent. Denny, thank you so much for the super sticker. And you know what?
Fuck you, silly.
Now we're speaking in BJ-ESE today, so we don't have my normal, super chat signals. But thank you very much.
Discovery could rescue the gibberish of the named attorney and the named but not involved attorney. Read that again. As a result, appellant's claims fell on their own. No amount of discovery could rescue the gibberish of the named attorney and the named by not involved attorney. Thus,
you didn't hear what you just heard. Nothing to see. Keep going.
It could not be posited Nancy Glow precluded the lower court from rendering its decision in favor of appellees. It was the blatant deficiencies and the anemic, untimely responses to the anti-SLAPP motions and their for abuse complaint that warranted the result handed down by Judge Eckel.
Okay, so that was a mouthful there, but basically, This paper is saying that your complaint by your lawyer was anemic, which means basically weak. Anemic means weak, and verbose means very wordy. Very now that is that's very interesting. How are you able to accomplish being weak and wordy at the same time? Man, oh man.
For example, in paragraph 177 of the complaint, the overt acts of racketeering are as follows: harassment and stalking and conspiracies to disrupt investigations. Okay. So the overt acts of racketeering are as follows: defamation and false reports. No such false report is attached here too. Cyber harassment and stalking and conspiracy to disrupt investigations. As stated throughout Appellee Sang supplemental reply memorandum, defamation is not an act of racketeering, nor is cyber harassment. Stalking or the made-up cause of action, conspiracy to disrupt investigation. They made up their own action.
Wait, Brittney, I didn't know that. Is this what we paid for? Oh, wait, it was free. Oh, okay. So we didn't pay for him to say that there was for him to make up a cause of action called conspiracy to disrupt investigations. Is that even allowed?
Neither the Federal Bureau of Investigation nor the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, FBI or TBI, has made any statement about anyone interfere with their investigation. If they felt this was the case, certainly the FBI would make such known to these content creators. The made-up cause of action of conspiracy to...
All right, now I know that Granny already speaks faster than most of us think, right? Oh my God, another super sticker from Electro Destiny. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. But I'm speeding it up a little bit because I do have to end the stream, and I think I might jump forward to the conclusion of this document, because the conclusion is the hardest hitting part, but also it's a short paragraph. Let's just keep going.
Disrupt investigation. They made up their own predicate act for RICO. They just made it up. Make no mistake, this
let me know if this is too fast, if it's too hard to understand at this speed.
Case is littered with causes of action asking a lower court to make a determination on numerous counts alleging violation of criminal statutes, none of which are predicate acts of RICO, nor have a place in a civil forum for redress. Next, for instance, calling a public figure or limited public figure a grifter or tragedy pimp is not defamation. Further, Pennsylvania does not recognize a civil cause of action for criminal harassment. The criminal statutes were used to instill fear.
Well, thank you, Proud Fur Mom. Thank you so very much. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. Okay, but seriously, let's keep going. Thank you very much, Proud Fur Mom.
Here, if Appellee Sang did not succumb to the demands, extortion of the voice of these appellants, driven and controlled by appellant Hazafrasu, she would face criminal charges. The reason Attorney Castor allowed his name to be used was because he figured Appellee Sang would capitulate, basically bow to the demands under the added weight of his former Attorney General status, and his misrepresentation would never be revealed. There is no substantial legal question that needs to be resolved between the parties that warrant the type of relief being requested in a special or preliminary injunction. The appellants in the complaint had absolutely no chance to be successful.
Absolutely no chance to be successful. That means this was a losing case from the very start. And you talked me into helping you back up this stupid lawsuit. You're still leading me to believe that they're going to fall down like dominoes while this is going on? Jesus Christ.
Next, the lower court did not err in denying the appellant's request to amend their complaint and injunction. Once appellees filed their preliminary objections, then the appellants could have simply amended their complaint and injunction, as no lower court order of relief was needed. By amending their complaint and injunction, the preliminary objections would be moot. Instead, appellants requested relief when it was not needed. Appellants simply, as stated, could have amended and then requested leave to add a party. After reviewing the appellant's gishgallop, the lower court had no choice but to end the continued exhaustion of court resources through incompetence driven by fanatical delusions. The court had no choice but to end the continued exhaustion of court resources through incompetence driven by fanatical delusion.
Yeah, I knew that about Diddy too. And when I saw that Diddy wasn't able to, even meet the 2 predicate acts for RICO, I was like, Brittney, we're fucked. We're fucked, Brittney.
Fact. Finally, the appellant's appeal should be quashed for the repeated defiance of the rules of court. The conduct of appellants, not only in the lower court, but also before this review and tribunal, should deny them the right to review any of their claims, which are all baseless in any regard. Pennsylvania Rules of Appellate Procedure 302 provides that issue not raised in the lower court or waived, it cannot be raised for the first time on appeal.
So a lot of the stuff that's coming up right here is much more technical. So I'm going to fast forward to the part that says conclusion. But I do encourage you, I did put the link to this stream where Granny read this in the description. So I do encourage you to watch the whole stream. And if you want to learn more about this filing, go and check that out. And also, if you decide to, fanatical delusions. And if you see fit and will consider contributing to Barbecues or Granny's funds, go ahead and do that because they could use the help. And if this, even though I have a personal rule against exchanging any kind of monies or fundraising links for creators, if this is one that I would contribute to if I didn't have that personal rule. Let me just say that. All right. Trying to get to the conclusion.
Is non-commercial. Accordingly, appellant's claims are unfounded as to how Appellee sang engaged in commercial speech. Makes clear that goods or services does not include the creation, dissemination, exhibits, whatever, of political, journalistic, or artistic work through the internet or other electronic mediums. Take heed. Appellants throughout their complaint asserted they coordinated extensive public awareness and outreach concerning the search of the missing teenager. To now say Appellee Sang's discussions on the missed teenager are not a matter of public concern, Belly's logic and their own assertions. In this case, they held that speech on a missing person was public concern. Therefore, the lower court here correctly applied this protection to Appellee Sang. In conclusion, sadly, distorted sensationalism surrounds this missing teenager, conjured up by deluded and conniving miscreants abusing the courts.
So that right there, Brittney, let's repeat that sentence right there. Sadly, distorted sensationalism surrounds this missing teenager, conjured up by deluded and conniving miscreants. I think, Brittney, you're one of the deluded and conniving miscreant abusing the court for the foregoing reasons, which were all outlined in this brief above. So distorted sensationalism is essentially what you do on your channel, what we do on our channel every day, Brittney, is we come on here when we sensationalize and we distort and we isolate the wrong issue and we misinterpret and we do all the shit that could do a harm to a real person's true crime case. That's what we do, and that's what this lawyer is describing right here.
For the foregoing reasons, Supra, Appellee Jessica Lynn Sang respectfully requests this court quash the appeal or dismiss the appeal and remand back to the lower court for disposition of the outstanding motions and order a hearing on sanctions for both attorneys involved.
Okay, so that right there, let's hear that again. I'm going to read that again. Okay, it says that Jessica Lynn Sang respectfully requests the court quash the appeal or dismiss the appeal and remand back to the lower court. That basically says, hey, panel of judges, can you say no to this appeal? Deny it based on all the arguments said above and send it back to the lower court to that nice judge who gave that really, 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 really damning and scathing and harsh and savage ruling to the RICO plaintiffs. Send it back to that judge, okay? And she will set a date for the hearing on sanctions for both attorneys involved because of all the things I've outlined above, not just Lesniak, but also Castor, for abusing the courts, allowing people to use their names to abuse the courts, abusing the courts, using a true crime, using a missing child's name. Yeah. So that's what that says. We want that the other people want you to do, want your lawyers to do, and what they want this panel of judges to do is say no to the appeal, send it back to the court. And now I'm going to go into my one final point that I want to make here. Now, think about this. Think about the idiotic strategy. And this is Lynn speaking now, and I might go in and out of my BJ-ESE talk, but this is Lynn speaking here, not as anybody else. Imagine the strategy of pushing and pushing and pushing things along by constantly flouting the rules of the court, by being involved in a case where a judge already said this is a slap case, meaning you filed this case to stymie public participation, to shut people up. That's what the judge ruled. Imagine after that judge ruled that, and there were already all kinds of stallings and pauses and excuses and bullshit and not following the rules in the lower court. Then imagine going to the higher court and doing all the same shit that was done in the lower court that made you lose the ruling because it's badly argued, it's badly pled, there's no basis in law, and you aren't going to be able to bring any new evidence because it's an appeal. Okay? So you, after all those fucking shenanigans, all of those shenanigans, now you have to go back in front of that very same judge, not only Monday for a safety hearing where you're going to, you called for an emergency hearing to get onto her calendar on an emergency basis because your safety is in jeopardy. It's woo, 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 woo. Big sirens. Better get out the big sirens. Better get out all the fear mongering. Our safety is in jeopardy. So you're making her put this on the calendar, right? Only for her to probably say, this is bullshit. This is bullshit. You didn't need to be in front of me again. To then once again have to go back in front of that very judge that you keep buggering with. And that's the judge that gets to decide how many punitive damages you have to spend after you've done all of that abusive process. How did that work out for your strategy? How does that work out for you in your strategy? And the longer you push it along, the more expensive that stupid fucking strategy gets. And the more angry that judge is going to be. That anger can't, factor into her ruling. It won't be expressed. But do you think it's a good idea to fuck with the courts for this long and for your pocketbook? You're all a bunch of complete fucking idiots. Now, wishful thinking Fafo is asking the same question that a lot of people have been asking today. If BJ doesn't go, what can happen to her? I don't think anything can happen to her. I have not seen any order, and I might be missing something. I have not seen any order that says you must go to court, BJ. But I could be wrong. I don't know. All right. So once again, I think I could have missed something. There's a lot to try to capture here, right? But Barbecue's been saying this all along in the chat. If a plaintiff chooses not to attend, they can't claim a safety concern because they aren't there to testify to it. All right. So as far as I know, the two people who are claiming safety concerns actively right now are Nick and Julia, right? And that's what Body just said in the chat. So I personally want to wish Barbecue and Granny good luck in court on Monday. It's all fucking bullshit. I hope that the judge is sitting there, taking this in and seeing what absolute mockery these people are making out of the court system. And because this is the first anti-SLAPP ruling in Pennsylvania, my guess is that she's going to be paying close attention to this. And I think that Nick the Hat, Joseph Lesniak, Bruce Castor, and all the rest of the RICO plaintiffs conducted a epically stupid strategy that they thought was going to win them attention and good favors in the court of public opinion, but is actually completely tanked several channels by now and made you all look like a complete bunch of boobs. You're all just really seriously listening to you talk sometimes makes me go like this.
What the fuck?
That's what I do. Sometimes when I'm sitting there listening to you, I just want to do that.
What the fuck?
I just cannot handle it anymore. And it would be even worse if I was being buggered legally by them. So please do consider contributing to their legal funds. Good luck to Granny and Barbecue in court on Monday, and good luck to them in the long run. I think that was a very beautifully written legal brief, and I admire the work that their lawyers are doing in this case. So I just wanted to say all of that. I really hope that you all have a incredibly lovely rest of your day. I will definitely be seeing you around. I do plan to go live for my book club tomorrow. We are going to finish the book. We're going to finish the book, which is it's a good book. It's Nobody's Girl by Virginia Giuffre, the woman, the most high profile survivor in the Jeffrey Epstein case. It's a very good book. We're finishing it tomorrow. And after that, I think we're going to be reading more Epstein files and talking about the Epstein files on my Sunday book club shows. So I do very, very, very much appreciate you all being here. I love you for, going with the flow with me. And this, this is a serious topic, but we have to dumb it down for them horribly, using their own ways of speaking. And in case you haven't seen my links passing through the chat, there they are again if you want to donate to my channel that way as well. Thank you again for being here. Have a great, great rest of your day, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Oh, and Jennifer, stop! Okay. Next time you tell me I sound like reality, I'm gonna put a complaint into YouTube. YouTube is gonna get a complaint, and your account is gonna be taken down. Goodbye. Love y'all.